Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another video at my YouTube channel and blog. Apologize if my voice is a little scratchy today. I'm going to use a sentiment from the Kitty Stacks stamp set from the Greeting Farm today. And I'm just using the words. I'm not going to be using those cute images, although I do want to make a card with those kitty stack images at some point. I'm just going to stamp this hello there in some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'm stamping this on some Strathmore cold press watercolor paper, and then I'm going to use a pencil and roughly draw out a banner shape. So today's video is part of a blog hop for my friend Kathy Rakusin. She has a really fun coloring challenge on her blog and Instagram a few times per year, and throughout the month of September, it is her coloring challenge. It's the latest one, and it's a 30-day coloring challenge, and I've done some videos for her challenge before in the past. If you're new to it, it's basically just challenging you to do some coloring every single day, and whether that's just 5 minutes here and there, or if you want to do something a little bit more involved. So I was looking for something to color, but I really wanted to just paint some flowers. So I'm going to take the coloring challenge for myself and sort of extend it to challenge myself to do more watercolor painting and coloring that way, because I don't do a whole lot of freehand watercolor painting, mostly because I'm mostly coloring images, stamped images, or things for cards. So I don't really challenge myself artistically like that all the time. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to do that this month and see where it takes me. So I've started out with some pink colors, and now I'm bringing in some purple. And the paints I'm using today are from Prima. This is the Tropical set, and I haven't used their watercolors in a while, and I've forgotten how wonderful they are. They're really, really great watercolors, and I really like the colors. I didn't have to do a ton of mixing of colors for this particular piece here, but it was really fun. Okay, so that dark purple was really dark. If you notice, then I came in and sopped some of it up with my brush. I basically dried off my brush and then brought it over to those areas that had a lot of paint and picked it up with the dry brush, and it kind of sops up all that extra paint, so I was able to soften that color. So now I'm going to paint some flowers, and these are, I don't know if we want to call them peonies or maybe almost roses. They're not a real flower. It's just kind of one that I've seen people paint, and it's kind of my own take on it. But basically you do a lot of C shapes, and you want to use the darkest, like kind of full strength color in the very center of the flower. And then as you add additional C shapes moving out and radiating out from the center of that flower, you want to clean off your brush and just get a little bit of water and let it kind of touch that area that has the most paint, and then it kind of wicks away that color from the center. That'll make even more sense in this next flower. So like I said before, I'm going to start in the center, just little C shapes, and I'm going to clean off my brush, and I'm going to come back, and it still has a little bit of the paint on it, it's just more diluted with water. You can see that it's really pale, but when I touch it to that really dark area, it pulls that really saturated paint. So this is the way you can get flowers that have a more saturated center and then kind of fade out to more pale colors on the outer petals. So I'm adding more of these C shapes and kind of filling in these gaps. I'm going to do one more flower. I'm going to speed up the video process here though while I paint it. And I'm using kind of like a yellow gold shade, and or actually I'm not going to speed up the painting. I'm going to show you this one more time. I'm using a kind of a palish gold shade. I mixed the kind of muted ochre shade that's on the top row in the palette. I mixed that with just a tiny bit of the purple just to dull it back just a tiny bit, and it gave me, or actually no, I mixed it with the brown. There's a brown in this palette, and it just softened it up a little bit. I then dropped in just a tiny bit of that reddish coral shade just to give the center of that flower a little bit something different. So now I'm going to bring in some leaves, and I've mixed a couple different colors of green for this, and I'm basically pressing the brush. I'm letting the brush really make the leaf shapes. So really watch as I paint the leaves. You'll see that I really press the bristles of the brush down, and they fan out and it creates a nice leaf shape. So I'm going to do that a few more times and you can see how I do that. I'm pressing the brush down and I'm using those brush strokes to create leaves. And I'm dropping in some other shades of green just to keep this interesting. I'm going to add in some more leaves. I'm going to add more of that green shade. I mostly just want to make sure I have green in a few different spots around this banner. I don't want all the leaves all in one area, so I am going to kind of move around and add more elements. I'm going to add some berries. I really like to add berries. They're a great way to add little pops of color in areas. And then I made sort of like a bud of a flower instead of a full-blown flower, and I just did that with kind of like 3 little C shapes. I'm going to do another one of those buds over on the other side of the banner as well. Trying to decide what I'm doing here. Then I decided I'm going to do kind of a few different, it's kind of like 4 different leaf shapes all together, and then it creates a flower. So I'll add in some leaves over there on that one side. And I'm pretty much done with this. I'm just going to darken up that banner just a little bit. It was looking a little bit pale for me, so I thought I'd bring in a little bit more purple at the very bottom of the banner just to add a little bit more shading. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and I'm going to move on with the rest of my card. Trimming down that watercolor piece so that it is 5 inches wide by 3 3/4 tall. And then I'm taking some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock and I'm scoring that at 5.5 to create a side folding card. I put some foam tape on the back of my watercolor panel, and then I'll press that down onto the card front. And I did want to mention that the watercolor paper I'm using today is a 5x7 pre-cut, and I didn't know entirely what I was doing with this piece when I painted it, so it just worked out that it was kind of centered in that area. So now I'm going to use the Starry Colors Bonsai Tambi palette from Zig, and I've just mixed up that light gold color, and I'm going to drop in some little circles of color. I'm being very minimalist with this, or very sparse with these gold shades, because I don't want it to overtake all of those really soft pale colors from the flowers. I did switch to a really small paintbrush and add some stripes on that shaded area on the banner. I think if I was to do this again, I probably would have skipped that because it doesn't really add to the card, but it was just kind of a fun element. So that's the card for today. Like I said before, this is for the Daily Marker Coloring Challenge. It's a blog hop, so if you want even more inspiration, head over to my blog and you'll see that there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.